Hey guys, Scott here, and today I want to talk about the whole grind reduction that behavior has been doing, and I kind of want to criticize it a bit because I don't think it's actually reducing the grind at all. And even if it does in some scenarios, it doesn't reduce the grind for the main section of the player base that needs a grind reduction, which is the new players. Really, all it does is benefit people like me who already can get whatever I want because I play the game a stupid amount. So it doesn't really address, I think, the problem, and I want to go over exactly how. So if you're not familiar how they're changing the system right now, they're making it so that whenever you prestige a killer, you get all of that killer's teachables instantly on every other killer. You don't have to go find them in the blood web anymore on those killers. So if you prestige 1, you get tier 1 of all that killer's perks on every other killer. If you finally get the killer to prestige 3, now you have maxed out perks on every killer for that killer's teachable perks. So in theory, it sounds like a cool system. And in some scenarios, it will reduce the amount of grind. It will be nice, not having to find, X perk every time a new killer comes out. And that's always been a frustrating part, not getting barbecue and chili until, your 79th blood web. And that can be frustrating. So I get that. But when you actually do the math of it, a lot of people on Reddit have been doing the math. Basically, someone found out that right now, currently, to get the dredge level 40, for example, it takes like 1.5 million blood points, plus or minus 100k, depending on how efficient you are at blood webs, how much the entity eats multiple in one. Now, to get the dredge's perks on every killer, it would be about 8 million blood points since there's 27 other killers. So in total, that's about 9 million blood points, plus or minus a little bit. So afterwards, with this new system, to get Dredge to Prestige 3 level 1, which will give all of his perks to every other killer, it takes about 4.5 million blood points. So in theory, you can look at that and go, okay, well, that's not quite a 75% reduction, but it's going from 9 million to 4.5 million. It's a 50% reduction. While true, it's a 50% reduction, we're now also earning 50% less blood points possible because barbecue and chili and We're Gonna Live Forever don't give you the bonus blood points anymore. So there's a 50% reduction in the amount, but then there's also a 50% reduction in the amount of blood points that we earn. So really nothing has changed. We're in basically the same amount, and it doesn't really fix anything. And the problem is, even if it did reduce it by a more significant amount, this doesn't really benefit new players. New players are the ones that need the grind reduction. I can't even make a guide for this game anymore because half the guide is, okay, step 1, earn 80 million blood points and get these perks. And to do that, they're going to have to go get this killer and then unlock this perk on this killer, go get this killer, unlock this perk and prestige this killer, and then unlock this killer and prestige this killer. They have to do it so many times until they eventually start building a base where they have all these perks and they can kind of interchangeably switch now. And that's, once they get to that point, it's great. Like I said, it benefits us quite a bit, but we're not the ones that need the reduction. The people that don't play the game very much, the people that are new to the game, we need to lower that ceiling to get into there. It's or that floor. And I think that's sort of the main problem. They're focusing on the wrong demographic to reduce the grind. Additionally, this whole system really only benefits people that play everything. It's very uncommon you'll have a player play all 30 survivors. Who does that? I don't know of a single player that rotates through all 30 survivors because survivors are just skins. They're not like, they don't play differently. I can see playing through multiple killers, and that makes a bit more sense. But for survivors, this change makes absolutely no sense because no one rotates through all 30 survivors. You might play, like I main Dwight, but occasionally I'll play Meg or something if I want to play a female survivor, or Ace if I want free Iron Will or something like that. You probably got like 3 or 4 survivors you'll play, which means getting all those perks on the other 26 survivors doesn't matter. It doesn't benefit you at all because you're never going to use them. Conversely, for me, if I'm unlocking all these perks when I prestige killers and I'm getting all the perks on twins, I don't give a shit. I'm never going to play twins in my entire life. In fact, half the killers I don't play that much because I don't find them super fun. Like, I'm never going to play Hag or anything like that. So getting them on killers I'm never going to play doesn't benefit me at all either. So it really only benefits people that play everything. And that doesn't happen at all on Survivor and happens pretty sparingly on Killer. So again, it doesn't really do that much. So basically, their whole 75% reduction thing just mathematically is just simply not true to begin with. But even if it was, that reduction is for the wrong player base to begin with. And it only benefits people that play everything in the game, which very few people do. So I think they could have handled this better. I think Behavior has a history of taking things that are not that complicated and making them far too complicated, like MMR, for example. They just had to remove perk tiers. That's it. That's all they had to do, just remove perk tiers. It helps new players. It helps old players. It helps everybody. It's not complicated, very simple. I don't know why they didn't just do that, but I think this is not as much of a reduction as they're showing. It's kind of it's misleading just based on the math of it. So I just want to talk about that. I still think I appreciate their mindset in trying to reduce the grind overall. I just think that with the reduction of 50%, but then you can't earn those blood points with barbecue and chili, and we're going to live forever anymore. You've reduced the grind by 50%, but then reduced the amount of blood points we earn by 50%. So everything is essentially exactly the same. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.